Hey guys, Thunder here. Today is a pretty special video, and it is marking the occasion of 500 subscribers, which is absolutely wild to me. I never really thought I would have made it this far, but you guys are fantastic. So thank you very much for taking the time to subscribe on the channel and really show that you've enjoyed this content. It means a lot to me. Alright, today we're going to do something a little bit special. Today we are going to talk about why I have the ThunderSoap name. Why am I called ThunderSoap? It's a pretty popular question that I keep dodging the answers on, and I did promise a video on it eventually, so this seems like a pretty good time. So, let's jump right into it. It's a little bit of a story, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Like all good names, they have a little bit of a backstory, so let's get into it. I think to start this off, it's a little bit important to know why I started playing Questland, to pick my original name, which some of you may know, but you'll see soon enough. When I was, just before starting playing Questland, I was very into Path of Exile. Which, if you haven't heard of it, is a desktop game. It has some very complex building and is very fun. Always worth it checking that out, in my opinion. And I'm also still very much into Dungeons and Dragons. I play it an absolute ton. At the time, I was very much interested in starting up a new character, and I was in the deep kind of design process of a Tempest Cleric for 5th edition. Whoever doesn't know what that is, you can just imagine someone wearing heavy plate armor and basically throwing lightning around, which is kind of epic. So when I was going to go on a work trip for about 2 weeks, I wouldn't really have my computer. So I was going to have a big break from Path of Exile and my D&D group, and I was looking for something to do, and a mobile game seemed like a good idea. Look around a little bit, and I found Questland, which was really exactly what I was looking for. It was a game that had an interesting build system. Looked like it had some different mechanics I could wrap my mind around. It seemed very interesting and intriguing and something fun to learn. So when I downloaded it, got it installed, and I was taking a look at the name field, I was pretty inspired by the idea of being a Tempest Cleric, wearing this heavy armor, throwing lightning around, and I got the idea in my head of, what about Thunder Gauntlet, which just sounded awesome to me. Unfortunately, someone with that name was on the server, which was a little upsetting, but instead of, being creative and picking a new name, I just decided to, channel my inner smartass a little bit. And I swapped the A and U in Gauntlet because no one would know how to spell it anyway, and I could troll around until someone noticed and then delay actually picking a new name. Long story short, it took a while for that to happen, but we'll circle back to how that did happen. When it did finally happen, I was actually smack dab in the middle of my time in Redrum. And I was pretty serious in Redrum at that time. I was about 3 months or so into the game, and I was steadily 6-ticket killing the guild bosses at that time. And it was a little bit different than before, without artifacts or any of the fanciness we had today, and it was pretty challenging to actually drop a guild boss. And we always had assassins ready to clean up errors, because it was risky. Redrum has a pretty long history on Global. It's basically the guild that dominated for over 1.5 years before disbanding. In fact, I was even the GM for quite a while. But when this actually happened for the name change, that predates that quite a bit, and I was still a member. So I'll save the history of Global for another time, maybe a 1,000 subscriber video. If you want to hear that, feel free to keep subscribing. So actually, Redrum is quite the collection of characters. Anyone who has been in Redrum in the past will tell you that it was very rowdy. Hilarious jokes in and outside of battle events were just a constant theme, with tons of back and forth between the members. And renaming and hilarious antics were just the norm. That was Redrum. Like, we were a hilarious group that just kicked a ton of ass. It's what we did. One joke in particular is actually pretty long-lived, and it was actually started by a fantastic Redrum officer named Joe, who is also one of the oldest players on the global server. And he's still around. You can find him and chat with him. And he always made sure to ask a very particular question to every new joiner. He would ask them, would you like some soap? Now, no matter, like, if the newcomer was hesitant or didn't know what to say and said pretty much anything other than yes, the next thing you would see in chat is Juro 1, victim 0, and then one more message going, nothing. And it really always just caused quite a riot because there was no rhyme or reason that he would ever offer up for it, and it just made everyone laugh hysterically. It was great. It basically became a tradition that just members in would always go through. It was almost like, I don't know, it was, you were not really a member of Redrum until you got asked the soap question. It was great. So about, what was that? About maybe 2 months into my time in Redrum, one of our players, Vestigex, finally was like, hey, Gauntlet's spelled wrong. And I was like, wow, I had almost forgotten I was being a smartass about it. And then I thought maybe I'll be a smartass again and see if the name was still taken. Swap the A and U back and see how long till people could actually properly tag me in chat again. This was before that nice little reply button. So pinging someone in chat was not always the most trivial thing. However, there's some suggestions going around for what the name change could be. And one of them was ThunderSoap, which was actually a pretty hilarious idea. Got a few chuckles. And it was just literally meant to be a joke at the suggestion. But you know what? It's Redrum. So I immediately renamed on the spot. It caused mass hilarity mid-blitz. We were cackling and people were renaming left and right. By the end of our Sunday blitz, half the guild had soap in their name. And by the time we ended our Monday blitz, 2/3 of the guild had soap in their name, and our GM Tiger Fan even renamed to Tiger Soap. It was quite the occasion. We actually got the branding from the server that Redrum was the Soap Guild for quite a long time, and it was quite the antic. We had a ton of fun around that. So I really just kept it. I loved the inside joke of it, and it just made me smile every time I looked at the name. So I just ran with ThunderSoap. Eventually I started publishing guides and things, and then published some YouTube channel videos, and now it's basically become iconic, and I really wouldn't want to change it because it has a lot of meaning and memories attached to that mean a bunch to me. Looking back at all my awesome old guildies and everything we did together, it was wild. All right, that does cover kind of the backstory around how I got the ThunderSoap name. If you listen this far, thank you very much for hearing my tale and reminiscing. It is greatly appreciated. And I hope you had an absolute blast listening to a little bit of the history on this. If you haven't already, please check out my Patreon. Some of the awesome people you're seeing on screen right now are supporters on my Patreon that help me keep making content like this for all of you. So, with that, I hope you all have an absolutely awesome day, and happy questing. Thunder out.